You made it! Welcome to Informat. We've been enjoying this cozy village for a couple of days. They're always excited to get visitors here. You see, the Informat folks love learning about the world's vibrant landscapes, cultures, and cities. But they're a real bunch of homebodies. So that means they learn about the world from informative texts, travel guides, journals, newspapers, you name it. Which is lovely, and they've been collecting for quite a while, and, well, I'll just show you. Yeah, it's a mess. Fire hazards aside, the Informat-towners can't find their favorite texts. We've got to help them get this organized. To do that, we'll need to figure out what characteristics all these texts have in common, then focus on their subtle differences so we can categorize them. Let's go! At the Purposeful Pie Bakery, we learned that nonfiction can be categorized by author's purpose as persuasive, informative, or entertaining. The Informat-towners are connoisseurs of informative writing, so first we'll review those characteristics to make sure we'll be able to organize this library to their standards. Let's jog our memories. What characteristics of informative texts do you know or remember from our lesson at the Purposeful Pie Bakery? Pause to answer in your PDF and resume to check. We previously learned that informative texts have logically organized structures, objective central ideas, and also clear and precise language. I think we should take a closer look at the structure of these texts so we know what we're working with. In the preview activity of your PDF, you were asked to read or listen to 3 informative essays on pages 4, 5, and 6. If you haven't yet, pause to go do that now. Ready? Let's consider what those 3 texts have in common. In your PDF are 3 informative texts about the Nigerian, Dominican, and Lakota cultures. All 3 have some similarities in their structure, or the way they're organized. Skim them and consider how the structure or organization of all 3 texts is similar. What kind of information is in the beginning, middle, and end of each essay? Pause to think and record your ideas in your PDF, then resume to discuss. I noticed that all 3 started with an introduction that hooked the reader's attention and then stated the central idea. Then the middle consisted of several body paragraphs with supporting details, and the essay ended with a conclusion that summarized the central idea and main topics that were discussed. With that analysis, we've proven we're up to the task of helping the Informat-towners. So now we've got to make some order out of this chaos. The texts we read are similar, but they do have some subtle differences. Maybe we can use those to organize them into different text types. Let's see. Mia found some signs on the shelves: comparative, procedural, and descriptive. Maybe we can use those to categorize this mess. Each term must describe a text type. I think we can use word-part context clues to figure out what the terms procedural, descriptive, and comparative mean. What do you think each type of informative text does? Pause to predict in your PDF and resume to check. Based on the context clues, we can infer a descriptive text probably focuses on describing a topic in detail. A comparative text probably compares topics to show their similarities and differences, and a procedural text must explain a procedure or how to do something. Now, we'll see if we can categorize those 3 texts. Use your PDF to once more skim each text on pages 4, 5, and 6. Check the box for the text type category you think it belongs to, then make notes on why it belongs in that category. You might consider each text's central idea, which you found in the preview activity, the way its body paragraphs are organized, and its use of language and specific transitions. Pause to work and resume when you're ready to check. As we analyze each text, use the chart in your guided notes to follow along. The first text, The Vibrant Colors of Nigerian Culture, is descriptive nonfiction. We can tell because the central idea is something like, Nigerian culture is full of vibrant sights, sounds, and sensations, which focuses on sensory experiences. Another sign that it's descriptive is that each of the 3 body paragraphs is organized by different descriptions. First, the taste of food, then the sound of music, then the sight of colorful clothes. Also, the language throughout is focused on describing things with imagery. The next, cultural influences in the Dominican Republic, is comparative nonfiction. The central idea is something like, the Dominican Republic has been affected by other cultures in different ways. That word, different, shows us it's focusing on comparison. Accordingly, the body paragraphs are then organized by comparing and contrasting each of those cultural influences, from Taino to African to Spanish. To make their comparison clear, the author uses transitions such as in contrast and on the other hand. So our final text, making a traditional Lakota dream catcher, is procedural nonfiction. The central idea is something like, you can create a dream catcher to learn more about Lakota culture, which focuses on explaining how to do something. So it makes sense that the body paragraphs are organized by the procedure steps in chronological order. And to help the reader understand those steps, the author uses transitions like first, next, and then. Now we know where to shelve those 3 texts. We're really getting the hang of this. We'd already learned that nonfiction can be categorized by author's purpose, persuasive, informative, or entertaining. And now we know how to categorize informative nonfiction by text type, descriptive, comparative, or procedural. Now, do you think those are the only 3 types of informative nonfiction? Definitely not. And you'll learn about more informative text types in future courses. But for now, let's get this library sorted with the text types we've learned. Phew. I think the Informatowners will have a much easier time finding their favorite texts now. That's one reason to learn about text types, to keep things organized and help us find the kind of information we're looking for. And another reason is so we can write our own informative texts, which gives me an idea. Over the next few days, you'll work with informative text types in your PDF. Then come back and find us. There may be a way we can thank the Informatowners for their hospitality. Until then, remember, every story is a new horizon. See you next time! Hey, hey.